Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our weekly art-based meditation brought to you by the National Museum of Asian Art. I'm Demi Mohammed, the museum's public programs coordinator, and I'm thankful that you've chosen to take this time to share with us for our last meditation of the year. This meditation will be led by Phil as we focus on a painting inside of a square dish from our exhibition, Feathered Ink. The painting depicts one of 12 birds and flowers to represent one of the 12 months based on poems by Fujiwara Taikei. And again, we thank you for joining us, and I'll pass it to Phil to get us started.
Hey, everybody. It's wonderful to see you here today. As Demi mentioned, my name is Philip Bender, and I'm so glad to join you this Friday, December 16th, our last art meditation of the year. I hope you'll come back in the new year. We'll have a whole new series of meditations on art with Aparna and myself. Today, we'll be looking, as Demi mentioned, at a work from the exhibit Feathered Ink, which is open through January 29th, 2023 at the Freer Gallery. So if you have an opportunity to check it out, we've got just a little bit over a month to do so. But the exhibit presents various works by Japanese artists over several centuries and highlights their brush techniques in the rendering of birds in hanging scroll paintings, screens, and books. And today's work is a ceramic plate in which artist Ogata Kenzan emulated such brush techniques. The plate dates to the early 18th century Edo period, and it's one of a series of 12 vignettes, each depicting birds and flowers of the 12 months, inspired by poems by Fujiwara Taikei, a 13th century Japanese poet. Now, admittedly, the 12th month in a lunar calendar is akin to our January. The wintry theme of this work is relatable, I think, in what is the 12th month of 2022. Now, to facilitate our own responsiveness to this work, I'd like to offer a meditation to help us get out of the head a little bit and into the body and prepare to be open and aware for the work. If any aspect of the practice seems inaccessible, just relax and maybe stay with the breath. All right, so let's prepare by taking a comfortable seat. If you're lying down, that'll work too, but find a way to feel supported, relatively tall if you're sitting in a traditional fashion. If you're resting back, that's fine. And let's start with our eyes open and with a little movement coordinated with the breath. So hands resting on your legs. Inhale, raise one hand. And exhale, let it lower. And then inhale, raise the other hand. Exhale, let it lower. And then both inhaling and exhaling. And then we'll continue with that first hand, inhaling, exhaling. And maybe these movements are like brush strokes, inhaling and exhaling. Long, continuous movement, punctuated by brief pauses at the bottom. And repeat. Taking your time with steady, easy breathing. Now, as we continue, add a little pause at the bottom of exhalation. When the hand lands, just stop. And then inhale, the other hand travels. Exhaling, pausing at the bottom. We'll go another couple rounds here. taking just a moment at the bottom of exhalation to pause. Last round. Finishing with both hands. Exhaling, they return to the legs or by your sides or to your lap. Eyes gently closing, making whatever adjustments you need to feel comfortable and stable. Little by little, let's take time to slip underneath thinking into the quieter rhythms of the body. And to that end, notice the gentle flow of your natural breath in and out. Now gently deepen your inhalation and exhale through pursed lips, lips in the shape of a whistle. Inhaling through the nostrils, if that's possible. Exhaling through pursed lips as if to blow through a straw. Keep this going for a bit. The shape of the mouth helps to slow down the exhalation. Now, as you continue, can you imagine softening your exterior with each exhalation? Just as the surface of a balloon softens with the release of air, allow your surfaces to release tension on the out-breath. The in-breath brings a cool touch of breath. The out-breath, release, further relaxation. Now do 3 more of these breaths. And let the exhalation depart so lightly. It's almost as if a snowflake could be heard landing on the earth. The gentlest touch with the release of the breath. After the next out breath, let go of the technique and rest your attention in sensation. Resting into stillness. Now, keeping the eyes closed, let's observe the formation of thoughts and feeling. To do it, I'll ask you a few questions and see what comes forward for you. When you hear the word winter, what comes to mind? What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? Just as these thoughts and sensations came to be, let them dissolve into stillness. Now, eyes remaining closed, we'll transition for just a moment. And now open your eyes gently and wordlessly take in the whole image here. This square plate. And let the work come to you, noting what is most present for you. And while you look, I invite you to orient your attention initially off to the distance. Look to the mountains in the background. And then let your attention come forward a little bit to the midground, the frozen lake or pond. And let your attention move to the foreground, to the duck. And let's take a closer look. First to the line of the mountains. As we look into the distance, perhaps noting what evokes winter here. Is there something about the brushwork or the glaze? Let's look to the pond. We'll go even closer now. Is there anything here that evokes some other quality of winter? Perhaps stillness or repose or slowing down. Noting the brushwork, subtle colors. We'll back out a little bit here. Bring the duck to the center. Just letting attention to dwell with the duck for a bit. What do you notice? Move up just a bit to see perhaps reeds or grasses along the shore. And notice too what might be surprising in this depiction of winter. Maybe there are hints of new life, a fresh start. Now I'll back away again. So that we might take in the whole plate at once. And notice now what is alive for you. This dish illustrates two poems by the 13th century Japanese poet Fujiwara Taika. One of these poems is Mandarin Duck. The snow falls on the ice of the pond on which I gaze, piling up, as does this passing year on all years past. And on the feathered coat of the mandarin duck, the bird of regret. I'll read that one more time. The snow falls on the ice of the pond on which I gaze, piling up as does this passing year on all years past, and on the feathered coat of the mandarin duck, the bird of regret. And the other poem that forms the theme of this work is Plum Blossoms. It is that time when snow buries the colors of the hedge, yet a branch of plum is blooming on this side of the new year. It is that time when snow buries the colors of the hedge, yet a branch of plum is blooming on this side of the new year. Those translations are by Edward Kamens in Word in Flower. Now take your final look and consider indeed what came forward for you, what was evoked, and perhaps what did you notice the second time we looked at it as a whole? What changed? Now, to close our practice and to have some time for sharing, I invite you to bring hands to the heart and to bow to one another in peace, peace, peace.